Hey everybody, let's go over round 6. Let's see what happened. All right, so here we have the results. We've got, let's see, Andrews up at the top, Chester in second, Baldwin in third. Ooh, Digby did not do so hot this round. They'd actually been doing pretty good about staying out of the emergency loans there, but not sure what they did. We'll take a look. They haven't been very aggressive in this game, so it'll be interesting to see what happened. All right, so we, Andrews, that's my team, we got 145 million in sales, which is about, I'm guessing about 20% more than Chester. As far as profit though, let's see, we got 19 million, they got 14 million, so that's about 30% more profit. Digby lost money this round. That's not good. Let's take a look. 63 million cumulative, 47.2 contribution margin, which is great. I think we had higher than that last time, which means we probably lowered our prices. We've got 26.63% market share. It looks fuzzy on my screen too, so that's just because I blew it up big so you guys could see it. But 26.63, we got the largest market share by 5%. That's good. Look at that stock price. So with that profit being higher than everybody else, as well as buying shares back and introducing a dividend. Looks like Baldwin tried to do a dividend, and their stock did go up this last round. The Chester team did not provide a dividend. Earnings per share, ours is double everybody else's. Then again, we have fewer shares than everybody else. Our market cap is 150 million, so we're at the top. Chester's not too far behind, so not too bad there. That looks really good for us. Now this is something that's interesting. You see here we have a CCC rating. We're paying 11% interest while everybody else is paying 9 and change. So that's going to be savings on their part and gives them a competitive advantage in that regard. So here we have the net income. We've got 19 million, 11, 14, negative 2. That's what we saw earlier. Accounts payable. So Chester's got a positive number there. I took a look at their numbers. Interesting enough, let me see if I can show it to you. Here it is. So this is a rubric, and you find this, here it says company rubric. You can find this when you're looking through your stats. This is for Andrews, so I can see everything about Andrews' team, but let me show you. I don't think that Chester or Baldwin know about this. And remember, the last couple of videos I've been telling you that Baldwin has not been adjusting their accounts receivable. Here it is. Let me see if I can blow that up for you real quick. There's their accounts receivable, 30 days. So they haven't touched it. Accounts payable, 30 days. They haven't touched it. And this is how you're graded. This is how you get points. So if they had lowered their accounts payable, they'd actually get more points. 60 days is the highest. Once you go over 60 days, then they kind of cut down on the number of points you get. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. Number of stock outs, etc. You want to take a look at those. But the accounts receivable and accounts payable, they're both at 30. They haven't touched it. And let me show you Chester. And I didn't check this until this round. I didn't think about it until this round. But look at Chester. They're at 45 days. And that's why they're getting 3 points, because it's between 45 and 60. And they lowered their accounts payable just by 5 days. In comparison, let me show you mine real quick. I'm not going to worry about Digby. They didn't change anything. All right. Sorry about the scrolling. I know it goes by quick. That's not it. That's Baldwin. Sorry about the scrolling. Here it is. See, our accounts receivable is at 60 days, and our accounts payable is at 5 days. So if you have it down to 0 to 15, you get the 3 points, and 45 to 60, you get the 3 points. So probably the best strategy for this game, depending on what other teams do, would be to keep it around the 45. So that would be my suggestion. We may even bounce ours down to 45 this time, just to see what it does, because our demand, I don't think, will take that much of a hit. All right, so enough of that. Let's go back to here. So accounts payable, accounts receivable. So we know that we have the biggest accounts receivable at 60 days. Chester's at 45 days. So if we lower down the accounts receivable days, we will probably come out with more profit this next time, I'm guessing. But we also have higher market share, and that may be because we have higher accounts receivable. So I might bounce it down like 10 days. All right, net cash from operations. Ours is behind Baldwin. Baldwin's actually producing more. They had huge inventory, it looks like, or they made money from the inventory this last time. They did not, and Digby definitely did not. Now, this is the first time I've seen it. I haven't pre-looked at all these things yet, other than the accounts receivable, accounts payable on the rubric. Everything else is for the first time. So Baldwin didn't put anything into improvements. I think that's because they had emergency loan last time. Chester did. They put a lot, and it looks like Digby put a ton in there. They put it in almost as much as we did. We paid dividends, only $3 million, so that's no big deal. We purchased back $4 million in stock. Nobody else is purchasing stock back. We took out a huge amount of money. We even took out some short-term loan and paid back a, looks like we overdid it last time. So we took out $8 million. They took out $2.1 million. That's interesting. Accounts payable, we got $1 million. They got $4.6 million compared to their $5 and $4 million. Those guys that haven't touched it yet. We have a larger current debt because we took out $8 million in current debt. Long-term debt, I've taken out the most. I take it out every time, almost at the max. Our common stock is the smallest amount. Our retained earnings is the highest amount. So overall, we've got $143 million. That's cool. All right, our sales are twice what Digby has. That's pretty cool. Our promotion, sales, and admin, we're pretty high. We're spending more than everybody else. Depreciation is because we have more equipment. So we're able to write off more before taxes. Okay, we got more in interest that we're paying. That's because we have a lower credit rating. So they're actually saving, look at that, they're saving $4 million a year just in interest alone. Our taxes are high because we're selling more than everybody else. Profit share, we're accumulating more profit, so we're sharing more. And it looks like we ended up with $5 million more than Chester. So that's going to give us a real benefit this time. As far as production capacity, we are just a little bit over on our production. Look here, Chester was way over this time, so our plant utilization was higher. It's interesting. Let's take at these numbers. So this time around, we might bounce up Able up to 20,000. I noticed on the rubric that they docked me a point for where I am. So I'm going to bump that up to 20. Our age is about perfect, but I'm going to try to make it so that at the end of the year it changes. We have 371 parts left at the end of the year, so that's not good. We have a new product coming out this year in March. So that one we're going to try to sell. We're going to do some interesting thing there. Cake. So they have 2 low-tech products now. They're still not producing very much, but they did increase their capacity this round. I did notice that. Their cake product, for some reason, is selling more. However, they got a little overconfident on how many they could sell. And because they didn't position Crazy right, Crazy ended up selling out, and they thought that they would sell as many in cake from that, but that's not how it works, unfortunately. Let's see here. I did mine across the board there, and that turned out pretty well for us. Looks like these guys sold out. So that's going to be interesting when we go take a look at the numbers down below. Okay, automation, we're at 10, 5, 5, 7, and 2. 4445 or 4545, 7, 3, 4, 6. So right now you look at this, our cost, labor cost is only $1. Cake's at $5. So when you add this together, they're at $14, almost $15 per. So they're only making $16 per product. We're spending $9, $10, so we're making $19 per product, almost $20. And ours is the lowest price across the board, other than the computer teams. So we're making 19, they're making 16. That's where a big difference comes in later on, and the contribution margin has a lot to do with that. Let's look at these contribution margins. Our 65, 42, 37, 40. Okay, so Big Ben here, or Baldwin, is doing pretty well. See, they're charging 16, so they're making $15 for each one. 19. They've got 19. They bounced down into the low market. I don't remember them having 3 in the low market last time. So I think that is what caused us to not sell as many. I think that's where they took from this one and from this one. I think they took from Cake and they took from Able. And that's okay. They're in the low market, that they can stay there. Look at their age. They're not changing their age. We're keeping our age pretty low because it's all high tech. They're keeping their age low. They made changes. Okay, pretty cool. Overtime, kept ours down. And we had a lot of leftover inventory from last time, which is why our overtime was down here. Plant utilization was down. So we're going to bring that up this time. But it's important to look at these prices too. We're the first ones down in the 20s out of the human teams. East and Eat, they have 2 products in there, so they're sharing their low tech. Let's see, my performance and size is matching. My age is matching better than theirs. My MTBFs are better than theirs. That's why we're selling more than them. Otherwise, they'd be beating us. So that's interesting. As far as the high tech, they're at 41. We're actually costing more than them in the high tech, but we're selling more because we're right on the edge. Our age is a little bit lower, and our MTBFs are higher. And as far as our costs, let's see what they have. They've got automation at 4.9 on both of them, and ours are higher than theirs. So we're beating them in that regard. They only have 2 products, so they're going to lose the market share in that case. As far as accessibility, ours is right as high as it can be right now. We're going to pump some more into that, get it higher. 8,900 parts with a 10% increase this year. We're going to lower our price down. It's going to be interesting to see what we can do. We're going to try to hit 75% of that price. In the rubric, you get a point when you hit below 75%. And that would put us at the $26.25. Here's how I came to it. $35 times 75%, $26.25. So we might put our product price right there at $26.25 this round. I'll make that choice here in a bit, but we're going to bump our reliability up. Look at that, Chester. Their potential for the low-tech market is really high. It says it's taking it from us. It's absolutely true. We lost a lot this last time in not being able to sell. Here it is. So they took over. They got 4% more than us. Cake's at 20%. Let's see why. I've got higher customer survey. I've got higher accessibility. I've got higher MTBFs, got a lower price. So it must have been the performance and size. Oh, that's because it was like 4 years old and it changed right in December. Otherwise, ours would be higher. We would have sold more. But ours was an old product when it changed. It was like 4.5 years old. So it was 5 years old because look. And if you remember in my other videos, I said, man, I should have changed something that last round. So we have the age right, but we do have to change the performance and size again. I think we're closer over here, and we should be closer to the middle. So we'll look at that together. As far as stockouts, let's see. Big Ben, Baker, Delta, Baboom, Crazy, and Crunch. Crunch is a high-tech product. So they took Crunch as a high-tech product and bought his product, all 31 of them. In the low-tech market because they have to fill their low-tech. They have to fill it. And for some reason, they didn't take it from me or for Cake. So that's interesting. Now, Cake is going to be a little bit more just because they do have a second product. but they stocked out because they didn't have their capacity high enough. If you look at this, you can see they have customer service at 41%, and they're not spending enough in their sales budget to bump it up. Because they have more than one product, they actually need to bump this up. So they're bad. All right, and they're also overspending on their promo budget, and it looks like Days is overspending on their promo budget because they could spend $1,400 and maintain the 100%. So next time, if they spend more than $1,400, they're wasting their money. All right, let's take a look at high tech. We've got accessibility, looks like almost 100%. 6,400, 20% growth rate this next round, so that's cool. Looks like they're thinking we're going to edge up in our market share, which is absolutely true because we're coming out with another high tech product this round. As far as stock out, we did not. We actually almost did this to perfection this round with the number of parts we had left, with the exception of Abe Lincoln. All right, let's see here. So Crunch, that one was sold into the low tech market, a couple. That was the one they chose, which is interesting. And I think they did that because Chester has the market share, and so that's the first one they chose from. All right, best sold out. So how many do we have in here that are high-tech products? We'll count them up in a second. MTBFs. Okay, so we got 56. Abe Lincoln's at 56%. That's because it's starting the year right at the mark, if I remember right. Right there. Amoeba just changed at the beginning of the year, so we have some. The pricing is still high, but look how much it's still selling. $2 higher than everybody else. Who we got? We got Dude down here. $45. They're at the top of the market as far as price goes. So that's one of the reasons why they're at 17%. We've got 93% awareness, 98% accessibility. Amoeba's got 100% and almost 100%, and Abe Lincoln's at 94, 98. So we're at the top of the market on all three of them. We're hitting the performance. It looks like Best matched us in performance and size. But we got the customer survey across the top, except for with Crunch. So let's see what Crunch has. 11.6, 8.4. So they match us here. A couple of people have the same one. They got 21.5, we got 22. 22, we got 22, 23. And the age, everybody's got a year. We're going to beat out everybody on the age this year with our new product. Abe Lincoln came up because we gave him $2 million to bring up their customer awareness. All right, so that's good. We're going to be able to keep this right around the 1,500, the 1.5 million. Probably bump this one down to 1.4 million or 1.5 million this time. Maybe bump this up to 1.5 million. That should get the customer awareness up again to where it was. But our customer survey, we're doing well. Let's see, the price at $45. Oops. Puts it at $33.75. Well, there's no way we're going to lower the price that low when we can pull as much profit as we're pulling. And let's go take a look at that real quick, actually. Let's see. Okay, high tech, it's $26, $27. So we're getting about $16 per on Annoy. 16, yeah, about 16 there. That's 23, 24, about 18 there. So Amoeba's our highest, it looks like, as far as labor and material cost. It didn't have as much plant utilization, so it wasn't as much overtime, so that's probably a lot to do with it. But our highest profiting one is this one. We get 19, almost 20. We're basically getting $20 per product here in Able. So lowering the price probably ain't going to happen so much on the high tech. We already have market share big time, and we're pulling it down. So let me excuse the scroll. Here we go. This is an important page right here. It says that next time we're going to have 12.7% of market share on low tech. That is not exactly what I wanted to see. However, with some other people jumping down into the low-tech market, it's only natural that we're going to lose some of that. So total market share, it says we're at 24.7 now. Next one is 23. It says that looks like Chester is going to overtake us in that regard. and that kind of blows. What I could do is I could bump down a product into the low tech, which I've considered, but at this point it may cost too much in R&D to make it happen. We're going to play around with those numbers for sure. And if we do, we'll pull back some of that market share from them and really just scare the bejeebies out of them. Big Ben and Dude are going into the low-tech market, it looks like. So it's almost good that we're just taking over the high-tech. There's some profitability there. All right, there's the segments. And they haven't revised these, so they're aging just about right. They may bump those down. This one, they've aged. Cake is their main product. They're probably going to come out with a high-tech product this next round, but here's the issue. There's only one round left after we make these decisions. So, sucks to be them. Recruiting costs, separation costs, training costs. Let me show you this. So remember, I added $1 for each one of these because it showed me as a possibility of gaining here. Now, what I didn't know is that you lose some TQM every round. I didn't know that. So we're going to bump these up to 250 this next round. And that should bump us up to where these people are. But they're going to have an advantage as far as these numbers go. The admin costs, they're not changing. R&D cycle, they're not changing. Looks like Baldwin got a little bit more demand, so good for them. Digby hasn't put they haven't put enough in there, really. But we're going to put 250 in each one and see what happens with that. And ethics, the ethics thing never happened, so I still don't know what the deal is with that. It's interesting. Anyway, that's it. That is the analysis for the sixth round. Here you go. It tells us our labor costs and whatnot. So we're going to be making some changes, and hopefully you catch it as I go through them. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed.